And let me make sure, yes. All right, so I can see the text back behind me. Fantastic. All right, so a lot to cover here tonight. We've got 2 days to cover, and we're going to talk about LUNCHBOT, right? LUNCHBOT, we just got LUNCHBOT released. In fact, let me just go ahead, pull up our notes section here. If you're not doing so already, make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, and of course there on YouTube. Didn't get through that normal intro there, but we got a lot to cover, so I'm going to try to hit into this real quick. All right. Let's take a peek at tonight's notes. Here's what's coming. All right, 2-day review. We already talked about that, of course. Tomorrow, active member. All right, so let's get into some of the topics that we want to talk about there that we talked about on that list. And one more note before we get into things. Please, folks, if you are considering a mentor, if you are looking to figure out, you're a struggling trader and you're like, I need a mentor. I've heard mentors are a good thing. And yes, quite frankly, if you go look out there, the studies have shown over and over again, those who succeed are ones who had a mentor or somebody who is in the industry for a very long time who's done this. So choosing a mentor, please do a few of these things. Do yourself a favor. If it's not us, you know, please do a few of these. All right. Make sure they have a track record, third-party verified, not this, you know, Excel spreadsheet stuff where they can fake it. All right, none of this. All right, no Excel spreadsheet crap, no uploadable track records, none of that Profitly stuff where on Timothy Sykes' page where his guys can go up there and re-upload or delete trades. No, absolutely not. You need to make sure that it is with a group like Collective 2. If it's not Collective 2, a group like them to verify end to end that that trade was taken. They recorded it at the beginning, they recorded it at the end. No crazy track records of that garbage, right? None of that stuff. If you're doing yourself a favor, get a mentor who has these things. If it's not us, go find one that has it. And if you do find one, hey, come back and tell us, and we kind of want to know about it. We're trying to keep a list, all right? We're keeping a tally. We're going to be exposing more scammers here. We're going to be exposing the Real Dollar Fire macro hedge scam. We're going to be putting that out here coming up in the next few months. We're going to be doing an entire channel devoted to exposing these scumbags, scumballs that have taken your money, run with it, and all the shillers and all those little frillers. We're going to do an entire series on those. So we're going to keep lists of good and bad. So stay tuned for some of that. All right, ability to watch them in real time, right? Make sure that you have seen them actually take the trades. Broker statements. Don't fall for the old game of, oh, you know, hide the broker statement, right? Make sure that you have seen multiple broker statements. Make sure that it was recorded, that they're not running 2 accounts, okay? I'm telling you about some stuff, and if you don't know about these scams, I'll reveal more of these as we get into the revealing the scammer stuff. This stuff and the links that these guys go to is quite disgusting, right? Recorded verification, not running 2 accounts. Modern tools, not just frauducation. What do I mean by frauducation? This is what I talk about where people are just regurgitating educational information that's out there on the internet and then acting like they've mastered it and that they're the guru, the furu. And if they are, okay, if they are, please then refer back to number 1 up here. Make sure that if they are just re-educating you, that they have proven that they can do the work too, and they're not just out here just trying to shill you and get you to pay them because they can't do the work. All right, quantified adjustments to market delta. What does this mean? That means, look, the markets are going to change. Okay, we all know that, you know, different strategies can work in different markets for different time periods. Make sure that, you know, like ask your mentor, how do you make quantified adjustments to the market conditions? Like when the market condition changes, how do you adapt? Do you change your time frame? Do you have a mechanical means to do that? Now, again, if they've got some way that they're like, oh, I have instinct. All right, my instinct, and then I change it for you. Okay, fine, but make sure it's quantified. All right, and the final thing, make sure that if you're going to a room, that it is an open room. What do I mean by an open room? It means that you can talk to other traders, not just a one-way communication to the mentor. If that mentor is only, like, you're only able to talk to them for some reason, it's a one-way communication, you can't see the other communications in the chat room, or you do, but you can't really private message those people, you can't have conversations with those members, that is not an open trade room. Make sure it's something like ours in our Discord chat. That is just an example of a good open chat room. All right, so enough off of the little horse pie here. Let's get into some of the goodies. All right, so got this screen up here tonight. I want to show you guys LUNCHBOT. If you have not installed LUNCHBOT yet, this is the latest version we've got installed. Let me zoom in here. I know it's a little bit small. This is on a virtual machine I've got set up over here for just specifically running LUNCHBOT that I use. I kind of keep it all separated. Again, how you manage this is up to you. But I just want to give some examples. Today was a little bit of a tougher day on LUNCHBOT. Trump tweeted right there before the lunch hour, so it really gave the market a big boost into it. So LUNCHBOT didn't have the greatest results today, but it wasn't terrible, right? Again, that's what the whole system is designed for. However, if you look at the last months, we've just been crushing it with the LUNCHBOT. And if you haven't installed it yet, you can go install it, and there is a free trial of that as well that comes with your stuff. And of course, if you got gold, LUNCHBOT is coming with it. Now again, we have other automated systems, so I'm just, LUNCHBOT, I'm not going to get into the details of this. So make sure that you guys are aware of news events that do come up in the lunch hour, but that's what LUNCHBOT is. Go install that for yourself and take a peek. All right. If you're wondering how to do that, I'm going to show you guys that as well. But one of the things that people have been asking is, so you see here that I have, I've got several of these open, right? I've got 4. Now, when you first open up your LUNCHBOT, there's going to be a single chart right there on your screen. Let me show you guys what that looks like, and I'm going to show you also where to go to get this installed. Okay, so we are right-click Save As. Hit the drop-down. I prefer to save this as something called LUNCHBOT, right? I don't know if you guys can see that. It's probably a little too zoomed in. There we go. So I'm going to save this as LUNCHBOT. So I'm going to save this as a LUNCHBOT template. Okay. All right, now what you'll be able to do is you can create new charts very easily, okay? File, new chart, okay? You're gonna choose your instrument. Let's grab, how about an FDAX? Actually, I'm not sure if I have FDAX on this one. Yes, I do, okay, cool. So FDAX data feed. Now you'll notice, it's kind of blank right now. Now your chart may not look like this, it may look different. I think I've set this as default for me, but if you just right click, templates, sorry, I want to load a different one real quick. So let's say that your first one came up like this. Okay, so kind of blank, standard, right? You want it to look like this. So how do I make it look like that chart over there? So right click it, templates. Now I'm going to load. Can you guys see that? No, it's way off there on the right. I hate the way this thing zooms, but okay, you're gonna go to load. And now I'm going to load that template that I just saved. So I'm going to load template, hit the drop down, LUNCHBOT, and click on OK. Bam. Now we should have the LUNCHBOT template. Well, second step you need to do, right click strategies. You're going to need to add this strategy to the window. Okay. So right up here, you should have ALGOBOX LUNCHBOT in your list. Just double click it. Then right over here, set enable to true and click OK. There we go. Done. Get that going, right? But there we go. So now I have another chart here that I can use, and now we're set up for FDAX as well. Okay, so we got FDAX, I got the Dow, RTY, NASDAQ ES. Easy as that, right? So what are your steps? Right click, save as a template, okay? Then go and apply the template. Now, in the next version that I'm going to release this weekend, you won't have to do that one step of save template. I'm already going to deploy a template with you. Something happened with the installer. It was supposed to be there already. A little bug in the release that we put out there early this week on the installer, but that template will be there on future releases. So you can skip that step and just need to load a template. Just do a file, new chart, right click, load template, load LUNCHBOT, and then of course add the strategy. Okay, bingo bango, and you'll be done. All right. Other things around the LUNCHBOT, you should be able to see things up and around the top corners, not all of them at the top, but multiples of these are going to be on different, on all the corners. I kind of use the corners for detailed information. Okay, so this is going to be your running P&L of the day down here. I know that's a little bit small for you guys because this isn't a VM and I've got a pretty high resolution screen here, but this is the resolution for the, resolution. This is the P&L running for the day. This is the P&L running for the history of however many days back. So if you're wondering, like, so why does this say 625? This one says 0. That's because this one I just launched and opened it today, and there were no trades yet, right? So $0 for what is the current 24-hour day in the session. But if you can see in the history, you see that one? That's a profit target. There's a profit target and one loss right there. So 2 winners, 1 loser for a total gain of, up here, $625. Now up here in the top right, this is going to tell you max quantity. Okay, so these are max quantities. This is max consecutive winners, consecutive losers. So that's what the XW is. That's the consecutive winners. This is the consecutive losers right next to it. And XQ stands for the maximum quantity during the sessions that are open. Okay, now this depends on how many days back you have. So if you want to go back further days, I'm going to right click, I'm going to go data series. And let's say I'm going to add, let's say 20 days here, just for speed's sake. And wait for it. What I like about doing it this way is that you don't have to go to the performance chart. You know how many steps that is, right? Okay, so for the last 20 days, this isn't great performance. All right, up here for the last 20 days, FDAX would have only been $750. Okay, that's not great. Now again, this is why I tell you guys run multiples of these, but you can see the max quantity during that time period was 4, and you don't see it over here because this is the running tally. But some details that you want to run, you can basically look at your performance right there. Now, if you want to get detailed, okay, so let's get to the detailed performance. On any LUNCHBOT trade window that you have open, just right-click it, go to Performance, Strategy Performance, ALGOBOX LUNCHBOT, and click on Historical and Real Time. Okay, this will pull up one of our performance windows, and you can actually look into the details of that 750. So if you're wondering, okay, well, you know, it's 750, but what are the numbers here, right? So zooming in here, hope you guys can see this. Yeah. So you are looking at a profit factor 1.17. Not terrible, not great. 61% profitable. Here's the time in average time per trade, 14 minutes and 14.3 minutes. Not too bad. Okay. Number of winners, 11. Losing trades, 7. So again, you can get all the detailed stats by right-click and go in. Of course, here are the dates right here for what that's run on. Okay, but I kind of conveniently I put it up here because what I like to do when I am doing quick backtests, quick optimizations and things, and I want to just know, is something working right now? I put all my tallies up here in the corners so I can quickly see them. I can literally, another little trick, make sure you are pressing F5. Okay, so one of the keys to reloading a chart, F5. Get real familiar with that F5 key. This will refresh your charts. Okay, so if I'm gonna come up here, I'm gonna press F5. You want to reload? Yes, it'll restart it. Bam, and of course you can get additional details. Now, of course, you can do different things. Like, let's say I want to run it back for a little bit farther. Let's go back. Let's go 90 days, just for fun. Okay. This might take just a moment. Bear with us, but it's important. You guys who have just started up launching and running your LUNCHBOT. There we go. So for FDAX. For the last 90 days, P&L 7,275. See that? It's right there instantly. I don't have to go and right click and go run an optimization. I don't have to go run a back test. I can see it right there. I love that. It's one of the features that I build into all of my robots. I don't want to say all of them because there's some of them that don't have it, you know, at times when I'm first starting out, but I always try to add this feature into those that are being released. So those of you guys who are in Platinum, that is a feature that you guys know that you should have. Now, again, I can look at the details still. So I do this whole right click thing. This is what avoids all this. Right click, strategy performance, ALGOBOX, historical in real time. Usually comes up like this. You got to grab it. You got to drag it down. I got to hit select. I got to change the currency. Whew. There we go. All right. So you guys know me. I like to do things quickly. Anything that can be done efficiently, I'm all about it. All right. So let's zoom in and see some stats here for the last 90 days of this one. So 63% profitable. Okay. Profit factor 1.35. It's looking a little better over the 90 days. Consecutive winners, 8. Consecutive losers, 3. So again, you kind of start to know your drawdown. Where's our max drawdown? Max drawdown minus 2,600. Cumulative profit 7,275, $7,275. Let's look at the time in market. 11.3 minutes. Right, profit per month. There you go. And again, this is just averaged out because of the time period. Don't really put too much on that until you kind of look at your historical stats. Let me show you some other cool stuff. You can actually go into the graphs. This is where you can get some really valuable information. Now, LUNCHBOT, a little bit less helpful when you do some of the ones that I like to use for my other strategies. I'm going to look at the distribution. Okay. Now, this is over time, but let's go through by day instead of by time. First of all, I want to do entry time instead of by hour. I want to look at day of the week. All right, so what day of the week are we struggling on with LUNCHBOT. What's up, Brian? Thanks for saying hello. I know it's kind of late, so I feel like I'm in here talking to myself. So if you guys interact with me a little bit, make this a lot more fun. All right, LUNCHBOT is great. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that, sir. So yes, when is LUNCHBOT not great? Well, you can kind of look right here. For at least for FDAX, what do we have? We have a little Monday problem, right? He's got a case of the Mondays. Friday. Well, I don't really like Friday either. Okay. No, nobody really wants to push it. So if you want to bookend this strategy, what days should you trade this? Right here, sweet spot, right? Looking pretty good, right? So this is how you can diagnose and start digging into your historical stuff. Now again, you can do this discretionary, but I'll tell you, in automation, in full auto, this is much more important to be looking at these stats than it is in your discretionary. Okay. Other things that I like to look at now, normally I still do want to look at the half hour. Okay. But remember, LUNCHBOT is only running for 1 hour. So it's like, ain't hard. Though you may figure out that, okay, maybe you don't want anything to run into the 1 o'clock area, right? You can kind of see that. Anything that's opening up, after 1 o'clock, for FDAX, it's not doing too well, right? We're not making any money on those. So maybe this could run for a half hour, right? You could get information from this right here, 12 o'clock to 12:30. It looks like you're making the majority here between 12:15 and 12:30 for that, right? You guys can see that. So again, use the information inside of those reports to glean that data so that as you are projecting forward, you know what your expectations are. The rest of these are not super helpful. Let's see, weekly net profit. So here's over the 90 days. What week did we struggle, right? Come back here and look at the 28th. And here, let's look here. So maybe there's something going on that week, right? So go back, look, and maybe go check out things like what was the VIX that day, right? Maybe some times when not to run your system, right? Maybe the VIX was too high. Maybe this was this FOMC week, okay? Now again, I didn't stop this on Wednesday, but our system is not designed to run around FOMC, right? On FOMC day, I'm telling you right now, not a good day to run it. It tells you right here, by the way, if you're looking up and wanting to know some of the rules, when you turn this on, it's right here. Things to note, okay? One of them right here, not for use on FOMC, okay? Pay attention to that. So we go back and look, maybe in the history of this, maybe this week was a big FOMC week, big announcement week, right? Let's see what happened in that drawdown, okay? See if we can try to avoid those things, like basically when to turn the system off. Because again, really the LUNCHBOT is just, I built it in, it's an all-in-one pack. Again, this is sort of to get your feet wet with LUNCHBOT. If you want to do platinum, if you're testing whether or not you want to do platinum, if this is your thing, like you love looking into stats like this, and if this is awesome to you, great. If this is like boring snooze fest to you, you probably don't want to do full auto, right? I hope you guys are kind of getting some of that. Again, I geek out on this stuff. I really like it. I'm also a control freak though. If you're a control freak, I still kind of lean towards I like to take control. I like to press the buttons myself. Okay, but then others a little bit less of a control freak, and you want to manage the bots and kind of treat them as like a manager. You're the manager and they're the team. Hey, that's awesome too. All right. So any questions around any of these charts, anything you guys want to see, pop them over there in the chat box and ask me, or down in the comments, and I'll get those answered for you. MAE is a good one to look at. Actually, we should look at that in the summary window though. So what is my max adverse excursion? You guys know I did an entire video on that. So let's go to our max adverse excursion. Where did it go? Here you go. All right, so I forgot. So this is a hard thing to calculate right here because right now we're at minus $293.75, and FDAX is running at $32.50. Never mind, I can't do that kind of math. I'm not doing it. And this is not per contract, but it's a little bit tricky. This works a lot better when you are running a system that is on a single contract. So yeah, I'm going to bare soul here. I'm going to teach you guys a little bit of something that I do before I go and running into a system that will use risk management. I am going to run a system like this on a single contract so that I can test things like this in dev. All right, while I'm developing, I'm not going to add any risk management around this of adjusting contract size or any of that kind of stuff whatsoever. And I want to just run this thing what I call pure mode. All right, I'm going to run it pure. So purely, what kind of stats am I getting on one contract? So when I read this MAE, and if it says 200, and I know I'm using a $5 market, right? I know exactly how many ticks that is because we really care about things in ticks. How many ticks of heat am I getting per each one of these trades, right? So coming back into those graphs again, that distribution up here at the top, very, very helpful. And right now with the LUNCHBOT particularly, you really care about day of the week. All right, so just start paying attention to this. It depends on your instrument. So don't just take this and go, oh, I saw Vinny's video, I'm not gonna run LUNCHBOT on Monday. What's up, Leon? Good morning. Hey, London, is this available for MT4? It is not. But did you know, I know a lot of people are on MT4 because the platform is free, but did you know that NinjaTrader now also has a free edition? So there's really no excuse in my opinion. NinjaTrader is far superior for many, many ways. I won't get into that here tonight. But do yourself a favor and go try out some NinjaTrader. Install it. It's like 5 minutes to install NinjaTrader, 5 minutes to install ALGOBOX on top of it. And then if you really want to get crazy, install LUNCHBOT here too. That's another 5 minutes, okay? And if you have any problems with it, myself, Curtis, or one of the other moderators can help you. Authorization required, Google Forms add-on, blah, 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 okay. Don't know what that means. ALGOBOX software request. There's some people downloading ALGOBOX right now. Fantastic. Okay, so download it, install it. Templates are already there. It's already going to open up for you. It'll kind of come out open box. It will come out just like this with performance here over on the left, and on the right you'll have your LUNCHBOT windows. If you do want a shortcut, those of you guys who are a little bit more tech savvy and stuff, you can head over here to our room, and under the installation section, I believe Attachino posted in a nice set of templates. I believe he put it in the 1 screen. Now, was it the 4 screen? 1 screen 4K. Is that it? No. Shoot, I'm not sure where he put it, but Attachino did post for us. He had set one of these up for a 4K monitor. I think some other people had set some other ones. So all those templates, if you have like a 3-screen monitor, come down here, and on the left you can go and look up 3-screen monitor setups. You can look up 3-screen 4Ks, 3-screen 1080s, and apply those to your charts. Or if you have any problems with it, I know that's a little bit maybe over your head or whatever. That's fine, right? We'll get you squared out. It's not that hard. Just focus this in on LUNCHBOT stuff, and I'm going to show you guys we'll talk about the monitor giveaway, because I can see this already. I've kind of got the monitors pulled up here anyways. Mr. Cook, this is looking very nice. Look at Mr. Cook throwing down with a full, what I call a professional setup here. He's got his 6-screen station Pro, and then he's got his little add-on right here. That is nice. Very nice setup, sir. I am digging that. That is looking lovely. He's got the proper keyboard. He's got the proper mouse. Look at this. He's got his 500 sheet right here. Look at this. Look at that. Golden knife. He's got his golden knife laying right there. Golden edges for my ledges. Oh, that's a beauty, Mr. Cook. Thank you for sharing that with us. Love it. The famous vertical mount setup. Yeah, so I tell people, if you are starting with us and you want to, maximize. Brian said, question, I don't know if you talked about it earlier in the video. When the bots are in a trade, is there a way for us to exit manually? Yes. Okay, let's talk about that. It's a good question. All right, so the question is, when the system is open, like earlier today, okay, we had some problems. We heard that Trump was tweeting. You saw the stuff taken off, and you're like, oh, shoot. What's up? Like, the market's just absolutely going nuts. Add one more chart. Here's what I would suggest. Okay, go up here, go File, New Chart. I want you to have what I call a manual chart ready. Okay, so let's open up. Let's start it out with NASDAQ, because we know NASDAQ is the crazy. All right. Well, it just doesn't really matter what template you have open for it. Okay, but I want you to go over here and I want you to right click, and we're going to enable the chart trader. Okay, so we go to properties, and we're going to enable the chart trader, which is right here. Okay, a little bit tricky, but show chart trader right here is the feature that you want. Okay, show chart trader, set it to true. Okay, click on OK. Bam. Now you'll have this over here. So let's say that there's a trade open. Let's grab a bracket here real quick, just because that's more fun. So you'll see something like this. Open, LUNCHBOT is open like this. So if LUNCHBOT takes a trade on NASDAQ, okay, So you'll see this trade open, and you can just go over here and close it. Okay, or if you want to take the target in, you can do that. Actually, that won't work. I apologize. You cannot move a tag that is being controlled by a bot. Okay, so you will not be able to tag it, but if you wanted to close out the trade immediately because you're like, oh, it's in profit here, dude, the market's going absolutely nuts, I just want to close it, boom, close it.
Order canceled.
Okay, now the problem that this will arise, I don't want to know if it's a problem or not, okay, is that over here in your strategies, okay, on the strategies, you are going to see how this is no longer green, NASDAQ. If you take a manual trade while a strategy is enabled, it will automatically disable that. Let me zoom in on that because I know it's a little bit confusing. Okay, so right here, you notice that it is no longer enabled. And again, this is on my dev system. This isn't a live system, so we can play with it here. Okay. So right here, enabled, disabled, right there, check, okay? So if you want to turn it back on, you just come back over here on the strategies tab of your control center and you can enable it. Does that make sense, Brian? Everybody clear on that? If you guys get it, type me a 1. If you're still a little bit confused on that or have another question, type me a 2 or add your question there and we'll try to get that answer. That's a good question though. So somebody else had asked that today. In fact, I'll go ahead and add that to the template. And I'll kind of keep that down bottom right hand corner. Maybe I'll stick it down here like this because really it's just there for emergency purposes. Now let's say that you wanted to change that, right? So let's say, well, it wasn't NASDAQ. How do I need one for every instrument? No, right? If you want to close, you need to choose, right? If you want to close off Russell or you wanted to close off, you know, any other, so you would just right click and instrument and change to the Russell. Where's the Russell at? Here we go. Boom. Change to the Russell. Bam. Click close. Right? Easy. Make sense? Okay. Let's see. Any other questions around that? We'll get those answered. That was a good question. Or again, you can put multiples of these. There's other ways to do that too. Like if you were to go over to your order window, right? You could go over to your order, you could close all. Let's say that you wanted to flatten everything. This is actually a good moment to talk about this. Okay, this is something that emergency exits. Do we have to add it back every time we close it? Add it back. Yeesh, I'm not sure what you mean. File, save, workspace. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Yeah, good questions. So you're gonna go to workspace, file, and file, workspace, save workspace. That way it'll be there every time you close it, right? So you're talking about closing out NinjaTrader, then to have that workspace saved, make sure that you hit file, save, workspace. It's a great question. Maybe save it as, you know, LUNCHBOT additional or LUNCHBOT 2, something like that. Okay. Other things that you could do and need to do. See this flatten everything? This is your emergency escape hatch. Okay, let's say you got, I don't know, 6 trades open. You heard Trump's tweeting. You start to see the market go absolutely ape. You got some trades open. You don't want to go and click close on every one of them because you're like freaking out. You're in a live scenario. Boom, right here. This flatten everything button is the bomb.com. Okay, a lot of people maybe don't know that's there, but it's there. Okay, flatten everything. Flatten everything will go boom. It'll disable all strategies and close out all trades at market. So if you're wondering how that works, it will be market order closures. So you will get about a tick of slippage on each of your instruments that are trading and closing out. Okay, but that's the way to close everything right there. Okay. Yeah, this is leading me to remember that I'm probably gonna need to do a very extensive video just on LUNCHBOT because, you know, I take for granted, you know, I know a lot of people already know a lot of stuff about strategies, and you know, I know there's a lot of new folks getting into this and it can be overwhelming initially. It's really not as overwhelming as you may think it is. Like let's say tomorrow I didn't want to go on every one of those charts and enable. You can highlight all. So another little feature that you can do if you come up into the strategies tab, okay, strategies tab, and you want to select all. It's just like any Windows app. You can type Control A or Control A for all. Okay, to select all. This is common. Okay, this is a Windows key. If you don't know about this one, you know, please just learn that one. All right, so you click in here, Control A. That highlights all. Then I'm going to right click somewhere in there on all, and I'm going to enable. Okay, so I right click anywhere in this space and hit enable, Now watch what happens. All these little check marks will get checked, okay? And that will enable all of them all at the same time, okay? You don't have to check mark all of them because that's kind of a pain too. So again, you can go in here and go click, 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 click. Okay, there you go. So you got all 5 or 6 of your instruments with LUNCHBOT enabled like that by clicking all of them. Or again, we can do Control A, right click, disable. All right, so now I've disabled all. Cool. Little tips and tricks with the LUNCHBOT there. Those of you guys who are playing around using LUNCHBOT here, you guys should be sim right now. Please sim only for a while. Make sure you got the hang of this. Make sure you understand, trade through what happened with some news events. I like the fact that we had news events today, and yesterday lunch started kind of taking off. A little bit of an odd personality. You don't usually get that, but you're immediately going into some scenarios where you could at least feel some drawdown, and that's actually good. I think you really want to take your licks initially. You learn a whole lot more from your losers than you do from your winners, and you know, winners will take care of themselves. So good question, Brian. Appreciate that question and the participation. Any other questions, pop those over in the chat box here. If not, we're gonna move on here. Where are we time wise? We're right at 40 minutes. All right, so about 10 minutes over where I usually want to be for these. I know I started a few minutes late here as well, so maybe about 5 minutes over. Not too bad. Let's talk about those things that you saw over there on Mr. Cook's new desk. All right, make sure you guys get one of these printed out, and of course follow us over there on Facebook, Twitter, and of course here on YouTube. But I want to show you guys this when our beautiful little video magic falls away here. So $500 vision board is what I call this. This is our $500 vision board broken up into 5 trades, 100 each. And this is how you get to 500, right? We talked about this to teach you how to do this. And of course, once you get to the 5th, I talked about the 6-shooter trading, right? If you get 5 and you're doing well, then you get yourself a 6th shot, but you want to, you know, minimize your risk. But then after you're done with these, folks, do not just turn off your system. This is the mistake. Listen to me, please. Please listen to me. At that moment where you have killed it, you are done for the day, you've done your live account. If you are early in your career, you are not done, all right? You need to get back in there, switch your system over to sim and demo and practice, 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 folks. He who spends the most time with the tools rules. All right, I'm just telling you right now, you've got to get that screen time. It's extremely valuable. The system does a ton of the work for you, but if you want to be the master and maximize those position sizes, practice those things like I teach you in the last 40 days to hit those runners, you've got to practice that. It's like telling a pro ball player, like, oh, well, you don't need to go to the batting cages. That's dumb. You do need to go to the batting cages. You do need to take those swings. You do need to feel those 90-mile-an-hour fastballs coming at you. You need to feel the curveball. You need to feel the changeup. All right. Trade all the different market types, because the better and the more time you spend it, the better you're going to trade and the more that you can do for yourself and your family. Don't forget. All right. I want to talk about here tonight. Oh, I was going to show this in our review. All right, so here's my little guy. We're celebrating this guy arriving, and little Roman here, Roman Alexander. There he is. So this little guy's been keeping me up. You know, I'm pretty much nocturnal these days, but he was in the other day helping me swing away. We crushed it the other day, hit our target, and I had said that I did this one-handed because this little guy was in my left arm, and I'm over there trading with the right arm. Not a bad day. All right, but celebrating him, hanging out here. I want you guys to have the tools in your wheelhouse, and we're going to be giving those away. So there's the vision board with the infamous golden Trump coins. This is, of course, ALGOBOX. If you've not seen the full ALGOBOX, I know people who just joined us are like, oh, what's this LUNCHBOT thing, okay? Well, this is what our entire system looks like. This is one instrument with multiple time frames, all right? We use 6 time frames, really 3 primaries, and we have a couple of tertiaries, right? We have the tide, tide, wave, and ripple charts over here. I know that's a big mess I just drew. And we got the MACV specifically for a particular type of strategies. And of course, our waves here, he's running 2 waves here. Again, there are some special ways that you can do this. He's actually using the fib series of the 55 here. Not a bad idea. Not absolutely required. So if you got a smaller desk space, I actually tell you guys, really you need 5 of these screens open, and I show you guys how to set that up. And you can get down as far as 4 if you continue to follow with the favorable direction. Okay. So LUNCHBOT, coming with the system. There's ALGOBOX. Here are some of those lunchtime results. If you guys want to go check out some of those, we have those posted. The green boxes are the winners. The red lines are the losers, in case you were trying to visually assess what are winners, what are losers. Keeps our charts nice and clean because, you know, if you turn on the data thing, it just gets really sloppy. Okay, so I like this. This is how I put together my systems. Okay, here's that 40-inch monitor. If you guys are wondering what that's going to look like. So every gold member who comes in this month, I got 10 of these, and I'm going to send you guys a nice little beauty right there. You can put your little golden knife right there in the front, and I want to see some beautiful setups like this. Is a big 4K monitor, so this is literally worth 4 monitors in one right here on those 4K. So you can trade 4 different instruments here, or, you know, if your eyes are not, you know, there, 2 instruments for sure. All right, and of course, this is what I still call the ultimate, most efficient setup here. These are a lot bigger than what they appear to be in here. These are big 42s, and we've got special mounts for those. Here is a printout. You can go print this out for free. This is how you start to assess on a month-by-month basis in a 20-day trading month. Here is that sheet. If you want to go print this out, you can come over here to Discord, print out that $500 vision board sheet. That's just another view of it right there. Why is that doing that? I've got the shift key stuck or something. There we go. Okay, the golden knife. This is what I'm sending you guys also, along with your 40-inch monitor. That is the deal of the month. We're going to hook you up. Heads up on that. If you guys are interested, come hook us up and look us up there. It's not available on the website. You're going to have to hit us up in Discord if you want that. The perfect mouse. I saw Mr. Cook did get himself this mouse right here. This is the GS300. And, of course, how we set up each one of those. And, of course, here is the latest version of ALGOBOX we'll be releasing here in the next week or so as we finish up the extra features here. Old goodies. I think there's about 6 others that are in this major release. Again, the last release we had was in January, and we have been working to put additional items in this list to just enhance what we're currently doing. We're not just throwing a bunch of other crap on there. We are literally just taking more of the things that we do manually and putting them into the automated system. Oh, platinum dots. Platinum members, full auto entry on those dots. I almost forgot that. That's like one of our major features right there. So, platinum dots. I knew there was a major right there. Platinum dots are coming. Lick your lips. It's going to be tasty. All right, I don't see any other questions. I know it's late. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you guys there in the morning. I will likely be trading the afternoon session, and we will be catching you guys in the morning. All right. For me, Pippi, Robbie, LUNCHBOT, Mod Squad, Curtis G, and the rest of the gang, I'm sending out that big H-Town. See ya.
Bar none, I am the most humblest. Number 1 at the top of the humble list. My apple crumble is by far the most crumblest, but I act like it tastes bad.